Good evening. Welcome to Investigator News. This is News and Trivia Night. Happy Friday. Friday is always trivia night. Boy, I got some great trivia tonight, but I want to get on to, uh, uh, basically what the title of the show was. Um, the Supreme Court rejects liberals because of lies. Each of these cases overturned an unconstitutional policy backed by liberals. Each has been denounced by liberal commentators. Those denunciation in any view have been unconvincing, and majority of opinions, Chief Justice Roberts and Justice Neil Gorsuch, concurring opinions of Clarence Thomas make powerful arguments for the results. The radically discriminatory admission policies in Harvard College clearly violate the 14th Amendment and civil rights of the 1964. The Colorado state government's instance of forcing creative entrepreneurs to utter the words they consider sinfully clearly violates the First Amendment freedom of speech. The president's unauthorized diversion of 40 billion to student loans. Now, did you guys know it was only 40 billion? Everybody kept saying trillions. Well, he only authorized 40 billion. So there was people that were going to be left out. This was to loan recipients is clearly attention with Congress vesting of all legislative powers in Congress. There's something else in common here, something that goes beyond the issues, which legal commentators have rightly concentrated on. And that is in all three cases, liberal policy and its justification is based on lies. That's most obvious in the college admission cases, or even the First Amendment, which lost 6-2 with Kachani Brown Jackson, a former Harvard overseer, not voting. They swore up and down they didn't discriminate, but statistics, the same small percentage of the high scoring Asians admitted year after year, were left out. And they wanted to show otherwise with lies, according to the justices. So they are moving forward into $1 is too much. Yeah. Um, but you know what, Karen? They got caught. You know what happened? They went in and everything they put forth were lies. And uh, it's almost like, did you hear Camilla Harris talk about culture? They asked her what culture was, and she was like, "A good time." Yeah, it's when you're happy. That's not what culture is. And then she laughs like, "Ha ha ha!" I'm going to laugh it away, and I won't have to answer the question. Well, when you put forth things you don't know about, and as you see, there was laws written back in the 60s. And then, according to um, when they were told trillions, then when the bill was put forth, it was only 400 billion. Well, then they lied to the public. So then again, they had to lie to the justices to redeem themselves. And they're going in there with half truths. Why? Because that's what they've changed history to, is half truths. Or is it just one big fat lie? It's so easy to tell the truth because you don't have to think about things. But when you make up lies, then you have to go looking and you got to dig. And when you find out they're lies, why would they even consider taking um, lies to the Supreme Court justices? And then they caught him. Katanji pulled herself out. Oh, I went to Harvard. No, I don't. I think she knew what they were going to do. I think she knew. I think they've known all along, all the way up to the date of the court hearings, that they were full of lies. And Biden swears, "Oh yeah, I'm going after him again." With what? Did he not realize what the justices said? that this was all based on liberal lies. Susan, did you hear her speech on culture? I just shook my head. I didn't even know what to say. I was just shook my head and said, that's what we got in California when she was senator, or when she was hanging out with Willie Brown, the mayor. Yeah, that's what we got out there. She never made any sense. We thought she had mental issues, or forgetfulness, or something wrong with her. We always wanted to have her tested to see what was wrong with her. And then she backed out, and then all of a sudden she's in the Senate, and we're like, how'd that happen? And then all of a sudden she's vice president. How'd that happen? I mean, her track record isn't that good. What was it that she dropped out? She was like 1% of the vote when she was lined up with Joe Biden. And I think she left the stage crying, or I don't know. You heard bits and pieces. It's hard. It's hard. Yeah, I can't stomach listening to her or Biden. That's what happens. When you hear so many lies, you just can't stomach it anymore. And um, and so now that even the justices are saying that, the liberals, if you're going to bring your liberal lawyers in here, at least be factual. Bring the facts, the right data, the truth. Huh. See, I didn't hear nothing about that on the news. Yeah, I was like, wow, where was that? If it wasn't for town hall, I wouldn't have known about it. And it was down at the bottom, and I thought, wait a minute now. If they called them liars, um, I want to know about this. Why? Why did they do it? It's taken years for the Supreme Court to recognize and hold up the the lies of intellectual rot. Where have they been? They say, oh, well, it's because Trump put people in there. No, I don't think that's it. I think they are finally starting to see the liberal lawyers come in, and um, even the State Department goes against what's right. But if you look at the head of the State Department, that's one of Hillary's lawyers. It is so riddled with liberals in the government that they need to start now. Stop, think about what they're doing, and regroup or something. Um, they can't go on lies anymore. Everybody knows the lies. It's like we got lied to um, about the last 2 years of lots of things, and even what's her name, Pierre, whatever, the press secretary lady. I don't even keep track of her name because I don't like her. Um, how many lies has she been caught in? I seen the thing today. 2% of what she said has answered to reporters has been true. 2% has been correct. And then they're still, hey, we want to know. If I was the press, I wouldn't even go in anymore. What's that going to do? Boycott the press conference. Oh yeah. So is um um we are now these corruption witnesses um they are now all the whistleblowers with the Biden corruption are now coming out one by one, saying they're being threatened, their families are being threatened, their friends are being threatened, they're being harassed, they're being followed, they're being tormented. um, by who? They said they're being hunted down. And they insist that this has been taking place since March. And they saw that it was their civic duty to come out and tell what they knew. Um, and then there was one that came up missing for weeks. You remember him? Well, he went into hiding with his family, friends, and even after his family, friends were all safe, they went after his neighbors, co-workers. And they said it's not just the Department of Justice, the State Department. It's not just the CIA, FBI, police departments, and others that seem to be following them. They said the FBI knew about quite a few of them before they even when they had the laptop. Before they had the laptop, some of them came out beforehand, and they had enough time to initiate an investigation, but they never did. And they just buried it. They buried their reports. So when they came out as whistleblowers, now all of a sudden they're coming out of the woodwork and to bury these guys. And they're public enemy number one, they feel. They said their families and friends, their associated, were all harassed almost daily. And some of them have even been prosecuted for small crimes and trumped up charges of crimes that they never committed. And then it's thrown out once it gets to court. And they said, the with the Biden influence peddling on behalf of the foreign governments, for which they raked in millions, goes unpunished. He said, let that sink in as they're being raked through the courts for crimes that are dropped, either right before they go to court or by the judges. And so, now we are having to look to protect them. And of course, this will cost hundreds and thousands of dollars. And is it worth it to protect these guys? And for us to have it put into a budget, will the Democrats actually vote if that is put in there to cover expenses to protect our whistleblowers? Now, normally they don't. They'll fight us tooth and nail. Now, was that part of the budget? This last one where they were holding out. We had Schiff come out, we had Schumer come out, we had quite a few come out trying to demonize the whistleblowers. And see that's what they claimed is the other part of the harassment is them being made to be liars, which they are not. They signed these affidavits. They signed their stories or confessions years ago before the laptop, and it's never changed. Remember, that's what I said about the Supreme Court. When you tell the truth, you don't have to worry about any stories. But when you lie, you gotta remember the lie. And they don't always have that confession or that story or the uh, or what happened in front of them, and that's where they get caught up. uh, Welcome to the world. Yeah, that's it. um, so now they are looking at maybe in the next budget, or if it wasn't in this, they're not. I don't think they're going to let us know. I think they're going to slip it in. Now, is it right to slip in something that we don't know about? The Democrats do it all the time. But I think they're afraid if they do, that they're going to be at battle. And of course, the Democrats will say, "Ah, it's all about Social Security." No, I don't think so. All right. Um, so this morning I had a chuckle. Yeah, I already chuckled again because um, this cocaine thing at the White House. This morning they were actually trying to say, it was close to Camilla Harris's car. What? They're going to blame Camilla Harris now? No, well, they changed it. They took that story out. I tell you what, they changed it. They flipped that back around and said it had to have been a visitor. Um, you know, and then they said, they don't have the capabilities to find out who did it. Really? How about cameras? Every room has got a camera in it. We could see who's coming and going. So obviously, it must be a family member they're covering for, because they don't want Secret Service talking about it. They don't want Department of Justice talking about it. The FBI isn't talking about it. Nobody wants to talk about it. Not even the press secretary, not even Biden. So obviously, it must be a family member. I mean, it's logical. You got to look at this logically. I mean, so what? There was a little bit of powder that was left on there. Okay, so just blame it on Hunter. So what? He's getting away with everything anyway. What difference is it going to make if they say it was Hunter's? Or was it somebody else's that shouldn't have been having cocaine? That's how I think of it. But I just thought it was chuckling moment when I heard it was closer to Camilla Harris's car. I bet you she was like screaming and throwing things in her office, and went and was ready to beat up the office members over in the Biden office. Everybody on the west wing of the White House was heard her. I bet she screamed louder than Hillary Clinton. Camilla Harris, really? They threw her under the bus. I bet she's mad now. I bet she's not so happy with Joe Biden at this point, or his liberal aides that keep letting him loose. Did you guys see the? Um, I had to go back and watch it. I can't remember who had it on this morning, but they had a slow mo on Joe Biden talking over 4th of July. And he goes up and he's like talking to the empty podium. Well, you could see Jill Biden. She's taken off stage left. She's not even waiting for him. She's out of there. And then he gets off stage finally. And you can see her booking stage left again really quick. I don't know if anybody caught it. I was like, check her out. She ditched him. I thought didn't the first lady supposed to walk with the president, hold his arm and be proud? She was ditching him. Go back and watch it, folks. I'm not kidding you guys. I always thought the first lady walked with the president always, and showed off the fabulous clothes they wear, and be there for the president. But boy, when he went around and started talking to the podium that nobody was there, she was out of there. Ah, we need a better first lady for him, one that's going to hold on to his arm and make sure he doesn't talk to empty podiums. Oh boy. Um, Jinping. Yeah, always got to have China in here. Issues disturbing orders as top U.S. officials lands in the mainland. The Chinese military to advance war planning and combat and tour Eastern Theater Command headquarters Thursday. Janet Yellen touched down in Beijing. Yeah. And Jinping stressed efforts to break new ground for theater command development and war preparedness. China's security situation has become more uncertain as the world enters a new era of instability, is what he said, requiring the Chinese military to double down on training for even war to be it could be a day, a week, a month, or year. And he said that over the last few weeks, U.S. officials have tried repeated attempts to repair ties and minimize that Beijing sees it as a large geopolitical threat. As the world enters a new period of turbulence and transformation, China's security situation is facing rising instability and uncertainty. He called for enhancing the planning of war and combat, strengthening commands, controls, increasing training, slowing down training and putting them on the field to raise the forces capabilities to fight and win. So that was his message while Yellen was there. Um, I don't think she intimidated him. I had a friend say, well, maybe she intimidated him. No, no, nobody intimidates Jinping. He took it as a threat. And they took it as, you know, it was all about boosting up sales and production in China, is what she went to. So it wasn't really about calming Jinping down over war. It was more business that we could do in China. I don't know if anybody knew that. And it wasn't, if it wasn't for Zero Hedge and a few others and some economists, I wouldn't have known that. you know and so now we have her going over to do big business with Beijing and the CCP. So she didn't do no good, folks. It wasn't about going over and settling down things and getting us to an agreement that China doesn't need Taiwan. It was more doing business with China and nothing on Taiwan. And this offends Taiwan deeply. That they even thought they were sending Yellen over because they won't listen to Blinken. And they thought maybe a more mature woman would help. Well, China looks down on women. Why they would send a woman, I don't know. So she's a mess, yeah. But see, now William, it makes sense though. If we if we send her over there for business, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, she should have stayed here and talked to the Federal Reserve guy that's looking at raising or doing interest again on us, which means prices will go up. She would have been better off doing that. Why is she going to go do business with China? No one's talking about that. And the way the media puts it out, lies. Oh boy. They make it sound like she went over there to do something big and great and keep us from war. Lies. That's why we're truth and news here. Because I'm going to tell you the truth that she was over there doing business. It was a roundtable discussion. They all had masks and they discussed business. Her and I think 4 or 5 other countries of doing new business and better business that China has to offer to these different countries around the globe. So that's what Yellen did. Um, they have got more bank records. In ways, I think Peter Schweiss is a big helping these guys out in Congress. More bank records have surfaced. And they say from a very reliable source. I'm thinking it's Peter Schweiss of the Biden corruption, even more money now they found. More and more. I mean, and the FBI are sitting on their hands, the Department of Justice sitting on their hands, all of them sitting on their hands and saying, well, yeah, we're looking into it. Yeah. All right. So we do have trivia tonight. I want to get this going. And lots of great trivia and lots of it. All right. So we're on to the first question. And here we go. What was the original purpose of the tiny pocket in jeans? I know we all seen it, Levi's and a few others. They had that tiny little pocket. Tiny little pocket. So, what was the original purpose of the tiny little pocket in your jeans? Um, Now, Minneapolis, we've been hearing, well, I'm hearing a lot of this. Um, um, more and more that the Muslims are not only upset with, um, the radical Muslims as well as what they call peaceful Muslims are more and more getting upset with what is being allowed for crime up around Minneapolis, Michigan, Dearborn. And this is not really a way um, to settle a thing. There's better ways to go about it than getting fireworks and shooting the police officers that they could find. And this was ones from Somalia, and they did this over the Fourth of July weekend and into Fourth of July, and it hurt quite a few of them. And they said because of they're not working with the peaceful Muslims to curb crime, and they can't help it. They said if um, if the police explain and city council explain, we cut the police department, and so now they're demanding that they're going to start shooting type of fireworks at the Minneapolis Police Department until City Council caves. Now, what good does that do? I mean, it's not the police officer's fault. It's the city, it's the state, and so many. We haven't realized, and because it's not coming out of not just the police department, but services that could help the poor, um, and also crime in all of these major cities. But they're cutting the departments and they're cutting funding to the states for those. That's what they say. They get the same amount of money, but they're cutting those departments. Wow. All right. Um, okay. So, what is the original purpose of the tiny pocket in the jeans? Answer is to store pocket watches. To store pocket watches. I thought it was spare change too. Okay, originally, Amazon only sold what product? Was it electronic, household goods, or was it books? Originally, Amazon only sold what kind of product in the beginning? Electronics, household goods, or books? I'm going to get done with news way before I get done with trivia. Um, um, there are back-to-back solar flares, and I talked about it on the last show. Um, they are fierce, and today and tonight, and through the weekend, you could have power outages. You could have electronic problems, phone problems. It's due to a tremendous amount of very strong solar flares. Now, if you want to know a little bit more about it, then go on back to my last show of the weather and lifestyle news, and I get in depth in it. Um, um, Boy, William, if I would have known about this one, I would have brought this up last night. Um, Transgender military members are exempt from fitness and weight standards. So they can weigh however much they want to weigh, and they don't have to pass the fitness test now. That was one of the big ones. You couldn't weigh a certain over a certain amount, and you had to be able to keep up with fitness. And now they're going to let them not? Why? And they give a weight standard, they give everything, and they said, but this has gone where the generals, and I'm thinking Miley and Lloyd, they say are pretty much the ones that are making top official decisions. But it is actually going down to the lower generals for the decisions. William, what do you think about that? I mean, you were in the military. Now, I've had family members in the military, and I had one that didn't get in because of his weight. But this is only transgender, folks. This isn't for everybody, only transgenders. So if you go in as a transgender and you're 30 pounds overweight, it's okay. If you can't do the required push ups, it's okay. We're going to let you get away with less. What happens when they find out that when you go through it? Now, William, will tell me if I'm wrong on this. Usually, the ones in basic training, when there's a war, they send them first. Are they going to be able to keep up? Are they going to be able to run? Or are they going to be now kept from going to war? What good is a military member if you don't go to war? I'm thinking on this. And this is what it sounds like it leads to. They're making it less and less to where it don't sound like they're going to be able to go to war because of the weight and not being able to keep up. All right, so originally, Amazon, what was it? And some have it and some didn't. The answer is books. The answer is books. All right, what is the last name of the business tycoon behind number 5 perfume? Some of these ladies might know. Some of the ladies might know. What is the last name of the business tycoon behind the number 5 perfume? Asa Hutchinson. Okay, I had to throw Asa Hutchinson in here because um, he was our governor here and he is running for president, but he's got like 1% of the vote. He's not getting any campaign funds. What happened to Hillary? Hillary gave him all kinds of money while he was governor to do certain things. Now, what happened to Hillary? Did she forget about Asa Hutchinson? Well, there's a good possibility Asa Hutchinson might drop out. He might be the first to drop out of the presidential race. Um, The DoD invokes Defense Production Act to produce metals mining after China export controls. Now, according to a spokesperson, the U.S. Defense Department announced on Friday it's invoking the Defense Protection Act to boost domestic mining and processing capacity of two rare earth minerals, gallium and germanium, critical for high-tech chip making for the U.S. defense industry. Now, when I first read this, I thought they're going back to gold. No, 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 no. It's only for high-tech chip making and for the U.S. defense industry. The Pentagon has strategic germanium stockpile. I know I'm saying it's wrong. And no gallium stockpiles. The move to the Defense Production Act comes after China announced that it will impose export controls on these two metals uh, uh, in China and globally. And this China announced Monday that it'll impose controls of the two metals, safeguarding national security interests. And they said they will be taking steps to help the United States into mining these resources. Uh, all right. So, what is the number 5 perfume? Was my favorite in the 70s. Yeah, Chanel. Chanel number 5. See, I told you, William, the girls are going to have this one. All right. You got to stay ahead of these women. All right. Boy, this is a long one. What food manufacturing company headquartered in Battle Creek, Michigan, uses several animal mascots to sell its cereals, such as Newton the owl, Tony the tiger, and rooster named Cornelius? I thought Cornelius was an elf name. I don't know. Anyway, what is it? What is the name of the manufacturing company? Yeah, Tony the Tiger. All right, you guys should get that one. That was an easy one. Um, Greta is Greta. Oh yeah, Greta Thunberg. She's back again over climate protests. She has been charged by the Swedish prosecutors after refusing to comply with requests from law enforcement officials during a protest at the city of Malmo last month. Looks like she's going to spend 6 months in jail for saying, what? We're not all going to die. They lied. She's protesting the climate change um, protests. So now they're definitely going to put her in jail for the next 6 months. She should have walked away. Because I mean, she gets herself in the news, and she's well known for being a big supporter of Bernie Sanders and the Green New Deal and the climate change and um, World Economic Forum. But now that she found out the truth, she's saying, no, no, no. Well, I guess they're going to put her in jail to shut her up for 6 months. Wow. All right. I think everybody got this next one right. And the answer is Kellogg's. The answer is Kellogg's. Everybody in the chat room got it right. All right. What day is known as Star Wars Day? Got to be a Star Wars fan uh, to know that one. All right. Um, Now, when we've been listening to Joe Biden and his Bidenomics, I think that's what it is. Well, now, economist and the guy from the Fed said, not so fast. Yeah, the economy added 209,000 jobs in June, but unemployment rate trickled down to 3.6. But it's not the unemployment rate isn't what it seems. And they're now starting to tout, like I say, of, they're dropping people from unemployment that receive those checks. Now, the newest one with this last budget that was put in, that they were no longer going to get their 12 weeks or they extended 12 weeks of what they got during the pandemic. So now all of them are being dropped. So it makes it look like the unemployment rate going down. Well, it's a false narrative. It's not actually. So the jobs, they said, oh, yeah, he's filling millions of manufacturing jobs. Well, that's expected when everybody started going back to work. So you can't really count that as what the feds are saying. And this is what's causing them to say there will be another rate increase, which is going to cause the prices to go up again, because it's a false narrative of the job market and the GBD. I think I got quoted that right. GDP. So this is going to be why he's going to come out by the end of the year and raise the rates again. He has to, because this is what happens when you push the country into inflation. And they've already admitted we're in a recession, but then everybody, it was like they said it one day and let's forget it the next. We're in a recession, And they said that, and he's even warned of we could be in a depression within the year, right before the elections. Now, will that hurt? Are we going to have our candidates address this of their idea to get us out of a depression? All right, so all right, I believe. All right, here we go, and um, answer is May 4th. May the 4th be with you. Yes, that was adopted. So it's so I think that the reason he came out and said this because everybody keeps blaming him for raising rates, but it's a forced economic um, progress you have to do in order to try to stop excessive spending. And this is what he said all along. When there is excessive spending on a budget and you push the national debt higher and higher, then they have to raise the um, um, our interest rates. They have to. And this has been known for decades. And every president knows this. And with Joe Biden being in um, politics for decades, he knew this. He knew this was going to happen. Or did he just not pay attention? Now we're finding out more and more he is a lot into foreign policy, not so much into like the ways and means or um, economics of the country. And I think this is where he lacked. He spent so much time in foreign policy that he didn't learn the proper economics for our country. And of course, then he put people in power that didn't know what they were doing. Yeah, Camilla Harris and culture. Boy, it's bad today for on my allergies. Okay, excuse me now. All right, let's get on with more trivia. These are good ones tonight, folks. Wait till you see. These are good ones. What is the signature food dish served at Wimbledon? Now, some people know. I had no clue. And I think I've done this one before and I still didn't get it right. So, what is the signature food served at Wimbledon? All right. So, um, don't blame it on the Fed, guys. Blame it on what this administration is doing. That we are losing more jobs, they say, uh, than gaining jobs under this administration. But uh, the good thing about all this is when the Supreme Court put down his thing with meeting with the media. Because how many times did he do that? He called the media in and had closed door sessions with them. And then all of a sudden they were backing him up no matter what what he said. And I really do believe this is a good thing going forward, as he's not going to be able to call the media in. So now the media more than likely will get the phone calls in the middle of the night or secretively and said, told to what they are to say, or they're going to be sent their scripts. I don't think the media is going to listen to what the conservative Republicans or even what the Supreme Court has to say. All right, so anybody know? Uh, all right, so what I would think it would be? Meatballs. I mean, the ball's around, right? And they hit it with rackets. I thought it would be meatballs. No, no. Karen, you should know this one because Tony eats it all the time. Yeah. Strawberries and cream. The answer is strawberries and cream. I say meatballs. Okay, what color is a giraffe's tongue? What color is the giraffe's tongue? Look out, cows. Meatballs. That makes sense. You could even dye them green. Make them look like, well, yeah, we can make them look like tennis balls. Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah, we're going to have fun here tonight. And I'm almost done with the news. Um, Ukraine's gold and currency reserves now larger than ever. Now we know what they spent the money on. Now I know where the money went. They've been buying gold and silver like crazy. They are stocking up bigger than Russia is or China. They're like almost so all the money they have been getting, and they're losing the war. Now we find out they are mass um, reserving gold. Why? Yeah, it sounds like it's some insider information, like the Biden family, because Biden family's been doing that for a very long time. But Ukraine's gold currency reserves are now larger than ever. They had nothing. They were a very poor, corrupt country, except for the oligarchs. They had all the money. Now the country is becoming very rich. How? Well, millions and billions and trillions of dollars have been sent to them. Now they've got the biggest gold reserve ever. See, they're still corrupt. They still got two of the four corrupt um, offices in the country, the biggest ones for globally, for trying to stop the corruption in Ukraine. Ukraine, it's still there. It's still going on, and now they've got all this gold. Huh? Maybe we should have been looking at the Ukraine oligarchs instead of the Russian oligarchs. Maybe there's a little bit more gold than what they should have, is what the article claims. So, all right. Uh, all right. So, what color is a giraffe's tongue? Huh. And I've done this one, you guys. You should have known this one. Black. The answer is black. Okay. Okay. This is the flag of which Scandinavian country? I think the rest of these are pictures. So, this is the flag of which Scandinavian country? A little bit of global history, global flag history. Do we know what it is? I didn't. I had it. I was way off. Um, um, William, we talked about them cluster bombs. Well, we're going to send them to Ukraine now. And what gets me is um, the cluster bombs would make me so mad if they were. They are not. They're controversial. They're not good. And Russian Russia was shooting drones of the United States out of the air in Syria. And our generals came out and said, that's not professional. That's not fair. Well, war isn't fair, for one. But, okay, so what are they doing? Why are we selling them cluster bombs? If it's not very professional. It's not really fair. But, if Russia does something, they jump on them. William, when have you ever known war to be professional or fair? I mean, war is harsh. War isn't a good thing. People don't play fair. They don't. When did war become professional and fair? Uh, yeah, this is a new one on me. I'm telling you. Um, low arms stocks. Um, are low arm stocks, does that mean that these are not that going to be that big of a deal for these cluster bombs? Cluster munitions is what they're saying they are. And that's what we called them last night. So, why are we doing this? If these are so bad and it's globally not a good thing to do. Um, I mean, we had to go back and watch us last night, folks, if you didn't hear about it, and listen to what me and William have to say about these cluster munitions. And now today, we're going to give it to them. And then they're complaining that because uh, Russia shot some planes down, or they didn't shoot them down. They zoomed by them and blew something in the air, and it caused them where they couldn't see. And so they were um, not playing fair, not being professional. Oh boy, low arm attacks. That's what it was. Low arm. That's what you mean by low arm attacks. Um, So, this is what we're looking at right now is, oh, Russia, you have to be professional. You got to play fair, but we're gonna give dirty munitions to Ukraine. So, I l- love and war, huh, William? Love and war. You're supposed to love us and be nice and play fair, but at the same time, we get to play down low and dirty, and you get to play down low and dirty, and then oh yeah, war isn't right, folks. War isn't fair. It isn't professional, and it's not meant to be a fair fight. It's not the whole, we don't have rules and regulations on war. It's just whatever they can get away with. And maybe the cluster munitions is what we can get away with and give it to them. But you don't complain at the same time about another country being fair in war. It's brutal. That's right. All right. So onward. Boy, some good news today, too. Answer is Denmark. The answer is Denmark. All right. What is the name of this world known tourist destination in Italy? What is the name of this world known? I think is world renowned tourist destination in Italy. Everybody ought to know that one. Everybody should know that one. And uh, now the other one is um, they're going to push harder. Let me pull this up. Republic attorneys um, blast Biden administration proposed electric vehicle regulations. Um, the new rule would force auto manufacturers to stop making gas cars and to push more electric vehicles. They're going to give them a certain amount that they're allowed to do with the gas munitions cars, and push more and give them more incentives and tax credits. So they're pushing us more and more, but they said they might have to raise the price of the cars due to the laws, the rules, and the regulations that's going to be put forth. So I think you guys all knew this one. Everybody knew this one. All right, Susan, you got to catch up. Cover up Karen's iPad, and cover William's eyeballs, or try something on this. You got to get one ahead. All right, the answer is the Leaning Tower of Pisa, and you guys even spelled it right. I thought with Pisa, Piza, not Pisa. It just pronounced weird. The French speak weird stuff. All right, what is the name of this sport? What is the name of this sport? And I'm going to finish off with all trivia now. I think I'm like halfway through the trivia. There's still lots of trivia. All right. So, what is the name of this sport? I might have to put a timer on you guys. Might have to put definitely a timer on you guys. I'll give you what 5 minutes per question. No, I'm teasing. So yeah, Pisa is not with a Z, folks. I almost spelt it wrong when I wrote out the question. I seen it and I started typing it and I thought, no, this don't look right. So I had to go back and check it. So no, it says S. It just sounds like a Z. Okay. So, and the answer. All right, William, no sleeping. Oh, I think I heard William snoring over there. His dog is throwing up snore signs. Answer is cricket. The answer is cricket. This is a oh boy. I guess I have to move my thingy here. There we go. All right. The statue is the award for which prestigious and famous event? It can have one or the other name. I said one of them, and then I thought, oh, maybe not. And I couldn't just, I was flipping a coin back and forth on which one it actually was. But it's the same thing. So, all right. What is the answer? This statue is the award for which prestigious and famous event? In Hollywood. The smoke doesn't cover it up. They should have just left him, just looking as pretty as he is. Some stars have so many of these awards. They put them in boxes and put them in their garages. I mean, you would think that they would want to be proud of all 100 of them. Um, SAG? I don't know. All right. But yeah, I think it was somebody that was on one of them late night talk shows that said they had so many that they put them in boxes and put them in the garage. I mean, hand them out. Are they real gold? Do we know? Do we know if they're actually gold or gold plated, or is it just that color? I've never watched the show. I quit watching the show in my teen years because it was never anybody you wanted. It was never the movie you wanted. It was like some weird thing that happens, and you're like, what? I saw that movie 10 times at the movie theater. All right. So, all right, what is this famous statue called? The answer: the Academy Awards, also known as the Oscars. Oscar. All right. So, what is the name of this gemstone? Is it a ruby, a sapphire, or an emerald? I thought it was the Blue Hope diamond, is what I thought. I was saying it. I said, yeah, that's the Blue Hope. Yeah, that's the blue diamond. Then it gave me ruby, sapphire, and emerald. I was like, I'm lost. Yeah. I think everybody knows this one. Um, but that's the first thing I thought of. And I had to go look at the answer going, wow. Well, it's not really a ruby. A ruby's red. Now I love emeralds. Uh, I'm not big on green, but I love emeralds. I think that's the most weird, unique gemstone that you can dig out of the ground. I like those gem hunter guys. All right, so the answer is, boy, I'm going to go late just on trivia. And the answer is sapphire. The answer is sapphire. I think uh, I think we got a tie now with these people with our group here. What is the name of the traditional garment which is the national dress of Japan? What is it called? I said a muumuu. I was like, no, that's Hawaii, I think. It's not a moo folks. My mom, without the belt and all that stuff on, I to me it just looked like a moo. No, moo in Hawaii. Someone let me know down in the comments after the show. Is it a Hawaiian thing or is that just a 70 thing? My mom, she wore these um, colorful things. Some of them were short, some of them were long, and she called them moo. So, uh, all right, let's see. We're missing Susan on this. Come on, Susan, don't let them get ahead of you now. Is a moo Japanese too, or is it Hawaiian? I said Japanese, so, um, but the kimono um, is Japanese, according to. So I gave you guys the answer. Susan, did you miss out on this or what? You didn't know? Uh, Kimono. All right. So this picture reminds you, and I was trying to figure out what movie this was in, and then it dawned on me, and I thought, no, it's just a picture that's supposed to remind you of a famous movie series. Is it Harry Potter, The Lord of the Rings, or Indiana Jones? Did you guys hear Indiana Jones? They're saying it's a flop at the theater. What? I just think everybody's tired of these movie number 10s or 8s or, whatever number 5. I think everybody wants new stuff. Can't Hollywood make new movies? I mean, how many movies did Jaws have? I think it was 4 or 5. Um, Friday the 13th, aren't they at 10? They and Halloween is 5 or 6. Why do they need so many of them? Or Star Trek or Star Wars? I'm sorry. I think they're at 12. Um, all right, so all right, so we'll get to the answer. Harry Potter is the answer. Harry, because of trains is what it was. Because of the trains. So you'd have to watch it. All right. What is this? What is the name of this extinct flightless bird, which was endemic to the island of Mauritius? Mauritius in the Indian Ocean. Now I knew the bird, but I didn't know the name of the island, and I still can't pronounce the name of the island. So this is a flightless bird. So what is the name of it? I was really surprised that Indiana Jones didn't make it so well compared to the other movies that were out. I got to take my grandson to the movies this weekend, and um, he wanted to go see Super Mario Brothers, and it wasn't playing. So I looked at the other ones, and it's like there's not really that good of movies out. Where's the good movies for the summer? You know, I don't even think he likes any of them. So we're just gonna have to uh I'm gonna have to wait and see what he says. Okay, so onward. What is this bird? The bird is the dodo bird. The dodo bird. All right. So what is the name of this flower? Out in um, California, the yellow ones, they're illegal. You cannot pick them because there for a while the hippies were making drugs out of them. So, uh, sound of freedom for adults. Yeah. But I even did I think I even did the trailer for Indiana Jones. I did the one for, um, that other movie with, oh, I'm at a loss, William. Me and William have these moments, and usually he backs me up, or I back him up on it. The one with the space guys that I went and seen, I thought was an awesome movie. Not as good as the first two, um, but I think they should be done with three. Uh, if you got to make more than three movies, you got something wrong. Wasn't it what Mission Impossible? Aren't they on three? We got Top Gun at two. But we just quit. So, all right. I think every one of you guys got this one right. But yes, out in California, the yellow ones were illegal to pick because they could be made into a drug. Answer is poppies. All right. What is the name of this female domestic sheep, which was the first mammal cloned using nuclear transfer? She had a name. It was a well known name. Now, everybody wanted to name their sheep after her. Believe it or not, they did. Uh, I don't know why. I guess it's when it clicks, even your kids do it. They hear a name on, you know, um, they see a cute little cartoon character and they're talking about it and they're like, you get a kitten and that's what the name is. It sticks. What is the name? Um, um, Mission Impossible, is it seven, really? I only seen two. But I'm not. But my mom was big Mission Impossible, in this for the series, but um, I didn't know it was up that high. I might have to catch up. I think I seen the first one, and that was it. And then I seen the second one online, and I thought, I wonder if I had to watch it. I didn't know there was seven. No, I'm done with all these sequels. You know, because then if you go, you're on four or five, and then you're like, well, I don't understand where all these people came from. All right, so I think everybody got this one, this answer. So, um, and the answer is Dolly. The answer is Dolly. And I believe this one or might be the last one. What is the name um, of the movie's character? Is it Smoot, Bloot, or Groot? That's the movie I was telling you about just now, and it didn't say the name of the movie. What is the name of the movie's character? Is it Smoot, Bloot, or Groot? So he was cute as an adult. I don't know if you guys seen the movie, but I thought he was cute. And then they had the baby one come along. So, all right. Susan, you didn't see the movie? Answer is Groot. The answer is Groot. Oh, there is one more. The mask is widely associated with which hacker group? This mask is widely associated with which hacker group? Um, they still wear it. Why? I would tend to just have them sit in the dark. Um, yeah, I am Groot. Yep, good movies. You and William are going to have to go watch it, Susan. They were cute movies. I liked them. Um, like I said, the first and second. The third one was okay, but the first two were pretty good. So, all right. So, who does this mask belong to? Which hacker group? Um, and at first, um, it they were wearing it. The first group was wearing it, the first group that hacked it, and then um, um, Antifa tried to get a hold of them. They started wearing them, and the group went after them and told them that they weren't going to do that. So um, you see a movie every 20 years. Boy, William, you've missed out. Well, not really. I've seen a few good ones in the last 20 years. A lot of them I just don't care much for. Some stand out and some don't. Some I'm like, I wouldn't have paid the money to see that. I'm glad I've seen it on TV or, on YouTube or something, or Hulu or Netflix or whichever ones I've had, Showtime, HBO, over the last 20 years. And it's like, thank God I didn't pay the movies for this. Uh, all right. So the answer is anonymous. The answer is anonymous. And that is all, folks. Um, so, Susan, you slacked off. I have to call you a slacker. But it was a tie with William and Karen tonight. Oops, I gotta click on things if I'm gonna type, huh? Okay. Um, William and Karen had 13, and Susan had 11. So almost you're almost up there with them. Um, and please, if you want to play um, next week, or you want to play this week, throughout the week, if you're watching it, put your answers in the comment, and I'll go through them on and off every few days. I go through, and my sister Beth plays like that sometimes. And so uh, that's it for trivia and news. So we'll be back next week with trivia and news. Share and subscribe and tell your friends about it. And, go see a good movie this weekend. Maybe there's one you might like. Um, uh, you know, thumbs up, thumbs up for a wonderful weekend. It's going to be hot, and just a reminder of the solar flares. So if you lose your power, your internet, your phone, just remember that it's probably the solar flares, and it'll be back up in no time. And we could have problems through the weekend. All right, subscribe, share, hit the like button, follow, and of course, ring my bell. And we will see you on Monday. Have a great weekend, and God bless. Bye bye, folks.